If you're right now struggling to focus on one task at a time and you find yourself multitasking, you find yourself distracted, then in this video I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to stop this once and for all. So without further ado, let's just dive right into the video. So the idea for this video came actually from one of my clients who told me that he finds it very difficult to focus on one task at a time. Now, this could be you, and this was him as well. Like, he felt overwhelmed, or maybe you currently feel overwhelmed. You get distracted very easily, you multitask or task switch, you're not getting the right things done, and at the end of the day you feel like you didn't do anything. Like, you felt like, yeah, I've been working on something, but I didn't feel like you accomplished something or moved closer to your goals. And you probably also waste time on social media, and yeah, maybe a lot of clients are texting you while you try to do your deep work, and you essentially cannot focus and get things done, and you switch between different tasks. Now, usually what happens when you are exposed to these things, to these problems, usually what is advised is to do something like time blocking, or install some app blockers, or do a Pomodoro technique, and maybe you've tried it as well. These are great things, these are great hacks that you can apply into your life to be more focused, and they work. However, if you've been struggling with this and you try to apply all of these things, which most of my clients actually did, but they couldn't see results. They were stuck in this endless loop of going back to feeling distracted, overwhelmed, task switching, multitasking. They again tried time blocking, or they tried to block social media, but still they found themselves distracted, and they couldn't stay focused on one task at a time. Now, why is this happening? It's maybe not what you think, or not what a lot of people these days talk about, because there are 3 steps to this. There are 3 steps of solving this issue once and for all. And everyone's really focused these days on just this part right here. Quick hacks like Pomodoro technique, time blocking, downloading a software that will block your website or block your YouTube feed or whatever that might be. But as you may have experienced, it does not really work that efficiently, because there are other things that are more important than that. But the first thing, that's the most important thing, these are your foundations. Now, foundation can be described as your identity or your internal state. Now, identity is a sum of your behaviors, of your beliefs, of your thoughts, of your emotions. And all of that creates a personality, and that personality is the version of you, the identity that you are right now watching this video. And you act a certain way every single day. You do certain things on autopilot, sometimes without you even knowing it. Actually, more than 90% of the things we do every single day, we do it without knowing it. You are a version of you right now that is reactive. You react to notifications, you react to messages, you react even to your own urges to click away from your work and start doing something else, or watch a YouTube video, or grab your phone and scroll on social media, whatever that might be. Okay, you're that type of person that is reactive. So to change that and to build strong foundations, first, more than anything, you need to become proactive. You need to become a person that can handle their internal state, a different identity that is capable of overcoming those urges and is capable of staying focused and being disciplined to do one thing. And once that one thing is finished, then you can move on to another thing, which is essentially with task switching and multitasking. You need to first become the person who is capable of doing that internally. And after that, you can introduce other things I'm going to talk about later in this video. But first, you need to create a new identity. So who is that version of you that is very focused? Who is that version of you? How do they act? How do they think? How do they feel every single day? What do they believe in? So to give you a more practical example, let's say you're wasting time on social media. Let's just say you're working and you grab your phone and you go on Instagram and scroll for hours, instead of being focused on the deep work and the things that are more important than that. So easy fix would be just to put a app blocker on your phone to ensure that you are not distracted. But that's a very surface level advice, because as you probably experienced, you can just grab your phone, go to the software that blocks your app, and click unlock, and you're back to square one, you're back to scrolling. And this is a behavior, this became a habit, this became a part of your personality, of your identity. So to build strong foundations, you need to rewire that. You need to become a person who doesn't grab that phone, who is not tempted and A person who doesn't fall for the urges. Okay, so who is that person? Be detailed, be very specific. And once you have an idea, like for example, I'm the type of person, or Miriam 2.0 is the type of person that does not get distracted. She does not grab her phone and start scrolling on Instagram. This is not who she is. You can do the same for you. This was an example. And second part of this whole process is visualization. This is a very powerful tool because if you try to build a new identity, if you try to create better and new habits, and you try to think new thoughts and change your beliefs and reprogram your mind to become a better version of yourself so you can grow your business much faster, then you need to first see it in your mind before you see it in your reality. And the more you can see it by visualizing it, the better it will be and the easier it will be to do it in real life, in reality. To give you an example of you grabbing your phone and going on social media, whenever you feel that there is this urge to grab your phone, you can program your head to, before you start even working, you can just close your eyes and visualize yourself working. And then as you visualize yourself working, you also visualize yourself having this urge to grab your phone and go on Instagram. You visualize yourself reaching your arm to grab the phone, but then you also visualize yourself overcoming that urge. You see yourself grabbing your hand back, pulling your hand back, and continue working. And the more you repeat this like on a loop, the better it will be. And when this situation happens in real life, then your mind will know what to do. Your mind will know that, oh no, I'm not grabbing the phone. I'm actually going back and I'm going to be focused because that's not who I am and this is what I've been programmed to do. So just like you're programmed with your negative beliefs, with your limiting habits or negative habits or bad habits that you have, the same you can do with good habits. You can train yourself not to grab your phone. You can train yourself not to react to that notification. First, you need to become the person who is capable of not falling for all of these things. And once that is done, then we move to the next stage, or step number 2, which is creating systems. Now, systems can be also displayed or pictured as a structure. You need to have a structure to your life because if you don't, then you're not going to get anything done, and focus will be a very difficult thing for you to do. Because if you want to have focus and you want to focus on one thing at a time, you want to feel accomplished by the end of the day, not get distracted, then you need to create a system that will allow you to do so. Now, before you create the system, you need to understand these 4 steps. First, you need to gain clarity on what is it that you need to do. Because if you don't know what you need to do, then you won't get it done. Okay, so the clarity is number 1 thing. What are you trying to accomplish? What are your goals? What are the tasks that you need to work on? Which brings me to the step number 2, because as you gain clarity, you're going to have a lot of ideas in terms of what to do every single day, in terms of what to focus on. Now, step number 2 is where you look at all of those tasks and you ask yourself, what's actually the most essential thing that I need to focus on? Because 80%, if not 90% that we do every single day is a waste of time. And it's also a waste of your energy and focus. So in order for you to focus better, you need to also focus on the things that matter. You just cannot do everything and anything in your day, because then you're going to feel overwhelmed. One of the biggest things why people cannot focus on one task at a time is because they get overwhelmed, because they work on too many things at the same time. Their environment, their minds, and their to-do list is so disorganized and everything is everywhere that they cannot just focus on what matters. So pick 3 things that you need to focus on, which brings me to the step number 3, which is simplifying those things. So once you understand what are the 3, maximum 5 things that you need to do every single day, how can you simplify the process of you actually getting it done? Is there a simple way to do this particular task? Because if you can simplify a task, then it will be 10 times easier for you to focus on that task. Because when we don't focus, when we lack or we have the inability to focus on something, is sometimes because we feel the task is very complex. Once you simplify the steps, then you're not only going to focus better, but you're going to get it done much faster. All right. And the last step is, once you have clarity on what you need to do, you eliminated the waste and the things that don't matter, and you simplified the things that matter, then the next step is to time block it. So to create a powerful system, you need to know when you are doing what. But it's not just about the time, and it's not just about scheduling every minute. Actually, that's not a very productive advice to schedule every freaking minute in your day, because that creates anxiety, and that's not what you want if you want to focus. Okay, you need to be in a relaxed state, in a flow state to focus, not in anxiety state and stressful state as well. So understand that when you're trying to time block certain activities that you created, and those activities and tasks that you know that will help you move the needle forward in your business, then understand that there are certain tasks that need more energy from you and more focus. And these tasks, I call them like priority tasks. Priority 1 task is the task that is the most important and the most difficult one that I need to do first thing in the morning. First deep work block, when I have the highest energy, focused and willpower. So ask yourself, what's the one task that is the most important one and that requires a lot of focus and energy from you? And you can time block that task first thing in the morning and you get it done. Okay? And you continue with the rest of the 2 or maybe 3 or 4 tasks that you have as your KPIs, the most important tasks that move the needle forward. And you prioritize them, and that's how you're going to time block those tasks into your calendar. So you know that you are going to work on priority 1 from 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. And you continue like that until you cover all of those tasks that you need to work on. Once you have these 4 steps, then you can create workflows and you can create a routine around these things. Just like with time blocking, you understand when you're doing what, and you want to make this routine something that is consistent. Okay, and something also that is doable. You don't want to now create a routine that is very difficult for you to follow. Just create something simple that you can sustain for 6 to 12 months. Something simple, something very predictable. And the best way also to create workflows and routines is to create SOPs, standard operating procedures, for yourself, just like you would for your team, and also a step-by-step checklist or processes that will help you essentially be consistent with this routine and with this workflow. Now, a step-by-step process or an SOP could look like this. So let's say you need to create content and you want to create a system around how you can create good content every single day and how you can focus on that one task without distraction. So you create a step-by-step process of how to create that content. Step number 1, it can be as narrow as open a Google Doc. Step number 2, write a hook or a title of the article of whatever that might be, or a title for the YouTube video. Step number 3, write down a short overview of what the video is about. I hope you understand where I'm going with this, right? So it's a step-by-step process of how you're going to do this task. So it's very simple and easy. It's like you would write it for an employee of yours. Let's imagine that you are writing this workflow, this process for a new employee that you hired to do your content or to do your outreach or to do whatever that you need to do in your business to grow it. And this will allow you to focus much easier because you're not going to be overwhelmed. You're not going to have a lot of complexity. You will know exactly what you need to do when, and it's going to be very difficult for you to be distracted from there. And that way, when you create a routine and a step-by-step process, it'll be much easier to focus on one task at a time because you're just going to follow step after step, nothing else. So last thing that I want to cover, these are the quick hacks that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Now, like I've said, they're useful and they work, okay? But if you don't have your strong foundation, the identity, and if you don't have the systems and the structure, then this is not going to work. And when it comes to quick hacks, you can categorize them as unattractive hacks that will make those bad habits unattractive and also increasing friction. This is another group. And this is where you make the bad habit or the distraction very difficult for you to access. So to give you an example for these, it could be as simple as downloading those ad blockers, making it very difficult and unattractive for you to do those bad habits, to you multitasking and wasting time and also switching between different tasks. You can now install all of those hacks, all of those tools that you see everyone promote, you can do it now and you're actually going to have more success with it. And if you want like a list of softwares that I use or all of these tools that I use every single day to help me stay focused and avoid distractions, then you can let me know in the comments below. But also I'm going to link a video that I made a while back, I think it was a year ago, where I mentioned a couple of apps that I use to help you boost your productivity and focus. You can check it out. The link is below this video. They will give you a better idea of what those tools are. So that's everything for today's video. Just to conclude, if you're currently unable to focus on one task at a time, you're getting distracted, you're wasting time, you're doing all of these things, first you need to fix your foundations. You need to become the person that is capable of being proactive rather than reactive. Create a new identity and change your internal state. That's the foundation. Now, or then, the next step is to create powerful systems, a routine. And to create a powerful system and a routine, you need to have clarity, you need to eliminate things that don't matter, and you need to simplify the things that actually will help you get more results. And then you need to create a routine, time block, and create a step-by-step process to make your focus and allow you to focus much easier. And lastly, this is where you introduce all of those quick hacks, tools for productivity and for focus, and this is where you're going to get the highest ROI out of these 3 hacks, because all of those tools, because you have strong systems and you are a person capable of being focused and a person who does not fall for the urges. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one.